there's no markings. So I want to make sure I'm going the right way. Good morning. It's about 6:57. It's very cold. And I actually slept some last night. I did get up about four or five times to answer nature's call. But I learned a whole lot. This is my first time, other than in my backyard, of sleeping in my quilt. And it's a definite learning experience. There is quite a bit of condensation on my tent. Whenever I'd get up, I didn't stake out my little side guy lines. So every time I raised up, my head was hitting the top of my tent, so the hood of my puffy's pretty wet, but got my cap on under that, so I stayed warm. My back is very sore from just the weight of my backpack yesterday because I had it fully loaded. I like my tent pretty good though, but I definitely need to stake out the little loops. These little loops right here that are on the top of it. It'll give me, especially at my head, it'll give me some headroom. I really like my air mattress. It kept me warm. I decided to go with the longer length in the women's of the Thermarest Zeo Air X Lite, and yeah, it kept me warm, and I was so bundled up that the narrow width was okay. I didn't have to worry about my arms falling out anywhere. I got my gloves out to put them on last night, but somehow they're lost somewhere here in the tent. I gotta find them. I'm debating whether to actually hike today or whether to just pack up and go home. I will probably hike a little bit, even if it's just short, because, don't want to quit. I just hope whatever trail I pick today is in better shape than the one I was on last night. What else? Oh. This is one thing that I have found about my tent that I'm not that crazy about. When I have the vestibule staked out, I feel like people can see into my tent from under the vestibule. Because as I'm laying here, I can pretty much see the folks at the campsite next to me. Let me turn the phone around and I'll show you. See what I mean? Last night, when I was changing into my night clothes, I actually put my air mattress up on its side to kind of cover the doorway, so I didn't have to worry about that. Oh, I think I'm gonna lay here a little bit longer before I get up to make my breakfast or something. I brought for breakfast a Mountain House granola. I just add water to it. It's designed to be eaten cold, I guess, but as cold as it is, I think I might get the charcoal out, and maybe a cup of hot tea or something to go along with it. Anyways, I'm gonna put the phone away now, and I'm just gonna lay here and get cozy for a little bit longer. And I just checked my thermometer on my backpack, and right now it's currently 34 degrees. It's supposed to get up in the mid-50s today, I think. So yeah, based on the temperature, I kept pretty warm. I did not use my Sea to Summit bag liner last night. Instead, I took my fleece jacket. My thighs get cold. And once my thighs get cold, it's hard for me to warm up. I was plenty warm wearing my puffy. But so I took my fleece jacket and I opened it up and wrapped that around my thighs last night. My feet were fine. I've got my water bottle down in the foot of my bag. I put the water bottle that had a regular top. I didn't put the one with the sports top in there. I was afraid it'd flip open during the night. And I did sleep with my phone and my electronics and the clothing that I'm going to put on this morning. The undergarments and the pants I slept with in my sleeping bag, so they'll be warm when I put them on. Okay. Going back to stay warm. Later. Cold water. 1/2 cup cold water. Okay. Let's see how it goes. I had a pretty good camp spot. Not bad. I decided to set my tent up off of the tent pad. Did pretty good. It's a little saggy, but considering I did it in the dark, not too bad. Sun's coming up right up over my tent. It'll probably be really warm here soon. And then we'll see about getting on the trail. Also, I didn't show you my camp shoes. I like them. Too bad I can't hike in them. We're all packed up, ready to go hike. It only took me 3 hours. It's a lot of work. Yeah, we're gonna make changes later. All right, so the trail I got on yesterday was in such bad shape. I'm not gonna do the 4-mile trail today. This one is a 2-mile, and I may just do it twice. It's a beautiful day. I may see a lot of runners out here. We'll see. Okay, so the path that I'm on looks like an old service road that cuts through the park. It's mostly a running trail, so needless to say, as people pass me, they're looking at me like I'm crazy because I've got my backpack, got my hat on, everybody's in shorts, and I'm in like fleece tights, and got my trekking poles. But you know what? You gotta practice somewhere, because they're gonna start seeing me like this around my neighborhood. So, anyway, see, look at the path we've got. See, just an old service road out through an open field. I really enjoy this grass. If anybody knows what the name of this grass is, we always called it sedge grass. The stuff that looks like wheat. We used to have a field by our house when I was a kid that was just completely full of this, and I had never really seen it anywhere other than patches in fields until I went to Frozen Head State Park. Nope, that's wrong. Until I went to Old Stone Fort State Park, and they have a field not far from where the old fort was, and this field is just open for as far as you can see, and it's full of that grass, and it's just beautiful. It takes me back to my childhood. I've never talked about why I want to hike the Appalachian Trail. For different reasons. First of all, I'm a country girl, and there's not a lot of country left. I love being out in the woods. So this is a way of kind of getting me back in touch with my childhood. And I keep hearing that going to the trail in nature is one way to heal, and I'm hoping it can help me with some physical ailments. Plus, I just want the exercise. I look forward to having something interesting to do every day, interesting things to see. This is the side of an old barn. Looks in pretty bad shape. Oh well. I know this terrain is nothing like what I'm going to encounter on the trail, but at least it gets me used to carrying my backpack full. You know, the only thing about having a wide open trail like this is there's no markings. So I want to make sure I'm going the right way. I'll talk to you later. Okay, so I walked for a while past the barn and thought, this doesn't really look like any kind of structured trail. So I backtracked a little bit, and there were tire tracks that went off to the left, so I went in that direction, and that just led me to a huge open field, and there was no kind of trail or anything marked on that. So I came back this way, and I'm gonna go on past the barn
and see if that's the real trail. I want to show you something. When I was a kid, we had trees on my parents' property like these. See these? They're nothing but thorns. This is my hand. This is how huge these are. I used to be so fascinated by those because in the fall, in the winter, they turn almost a red. It's a beautiful tree. You sure don't want to run into one. So this is the trail. There's no blazes, but it's supposed to be a running trail, so I'm assuming that this terrain is calm enough or flat enough to run on. Oh, look here. I got some horsey tracks. That's one thing I've never run into is a horse on the trail. But I do know that some parks have horse trails. So maybe I'll see one today. Looky here. I found some reindeer moss. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. And I don't know what kind of moss this really green stuff is. It looks like a really teeny tiny succulent. But then over here, there's some more patches of the moss. And as you see, I'm just following the horse tracks. Okay, I think I found some kind of trail marker. See that blue tie right there? I've seen about 3 or 4 of them now that I've gotten off on this side trail. So, better than no marker at all. Come on, Cedars of Lebanon, you could do better. This just looks like somebody tied a balloon around a limb. We'll see where it goes. Look what greeted me as I came around a small curve. Aren't they beautiful? Like I said, I love wildflowers. I always wanted to know what those were called. They're just beautiful. My parents' property when I was a kid, there was a low spot. It was nothing but rock and had a very thin layer of soil on top of it. And every spring, those little flowers would pop up and just blanket that whole area. That's probably the most I've seen in one space since then. Oh, and you know, I would love to go back and see the place where I grew up, but unfortunately it doesn't even exist anymore because a rock quarry came in. My parents suffered a lot of damage from blasting at the quarry, and the quarry finally bought their property, so that property has been dug out. Like I say, it was very rocky. That property has been dug out and smashed into gravel, and it's probably all over the state. So there's nothing I can go back and see except a big open hole, and I can actually see that on Google Maps on the satellite. Ooh, look at this. This is so pretty. It looks like a green carpet, and it goes back for as far as I can see. Oh, this is nice. Okay, later. I thought I would stop here by this lovely little sinkhole. There's no place really I can sit down. I'm not sure what's under all these leaves, so I'm not going to sit under them. But I'm fixing to come into a wide open, sunny area, so I thought this would be a good place to stop and have a little bit of a snack and to drink some water. The snack today is a Rice Krispies treat. Yes, it is something that I have tried, and it has passed the test to cause me no pain. So that and some good old water is going to be really good. Okay, I took a little break here in the shade. Oh, I'm going to have me some water. I readjusted the brain on my pack because it really was pulling at my shoulders a lot. So thought I'd do some hydration. This is the electrolyte mix that I have found. I found that at my local Publix store. fruit punch flavored. But as you'll see, there's no artificial colors. So my bladder likes this very much. Very good. I'm back in my car. I just did the 2-mile runner's loop today. I'm gonna head on back home. I am dressed way too warm for this, and there is nowhere around here that I can really change. All of the buildings are closed. The restrooms are open, but yeah, I don't want to lay all my stuff out in there. So anyway, I'm just gonna head home. I learned a lot today. I actually wore the smaller shoes today, and I do believe they felt better. Yesterday, my toes got to hurting with the larger shoes because it felt like whenever I would step forward with one foot, the back foot, when my toes would curl, it felt like the shoe was bending in all the wrong places, and it was putting stress on my toes. Made my toe kind of achy. So today it felt a whole lot better. So, but I only had on one pair of socks, and I didn't go a whole bunch of miles, so one pair of socks may not cut it, but that's what we're going to start with. Well, I am going to get off here, and I am going to drive back to my house, and I'm going to probably take a shower. So, see y'all later.